Yeah, that is Stranger Cole. Stranger Cole singing Out of Many.1. And him never sing it 1962 at the beginning of the independence with the slogan. Him sing it about 2 years later. Well, no, it released about 2 years later, about 64. But him probably make it just after independence. Last caller to the previous program, you know, she come like she steal my thunder because she bring up a topic that I had written down to comment about. But she steal my thunder, but she couldn't steal the lightning still. Because as I was mentioning, one country, many peoples. That was the situation of Jamaica from before independence. One country, many peoples. It's still the situation now. One country, many peoples. People coming from many different parts of the world is one country. It was just a colony before 1962, but you can call it a country after 1962 because it have political independence. Thank you, ma'am. It have political independence. So it's one country, many peoples. But by the way, we're going to have Mr. Bruce Goldyn here at 11 o'clock. I remember yesterday morning, I spoke at length comparing how Bruce Goldyn handled the appeal from a significant section of the population to preserve the heritage of a particular place, not because only of sentimental reason, but because of practical reason of preserving that place in the original intention that it was formalized. But it was formalized as a housing and land development by an independent set of people in Jamaica, just like how the Maroons did a couple hundred of years ago. It was formulated and organized that way up at Pinnacle. And then it was, the people there were beat and scattered and disinherited. And then a significant number of people made appeal. I don't know if Bruce Goldyn is the first prime minister that made appeal to. But when they made the appeal to him to preserve not only the heritage, but preserve the place as a possibility for the original community to reassemble there and to preserve it and carry on the tradition of self-help housing and self-help plan, farming and economy. Pinnacle. And compare the plan that he and other people started putting together to save at least a couple hundred acres of that place, if it even meant to buy it from the private developers at a much smaller price than what this outer many. Well, I don't know what the price, but a much smaller rate of purchase per acre. Because I know that Pinnacle wasn't going to be near the 20 million a acre that them spend out at Trelawney. It may have been even less than 2 million a acre, which is 10 times 1/10 the amount. Anyway, I spent some time talking about that yesterday morning. And I heard Mr. Bruce Goldyn being interviewed very relevantly on other programs since that. And it came to me to say, well then, since I had been comparing these two things, the disgraceful and secretive acquisition out of many from rich people with the money of the poor, and comparing the way that Bruce Goldyn administration had been planning to preserve that piece of heritage, and it would be one of the most great development in Jamaica, because Jamaica is highly admired throughout the world because of producing the Garvey movement, the Maroon movement, and more spectacularly the Rastafari movement. And the people would be coming here not to see just like a tourist attraction, but to see the practical and first collective land and housing development by Rastafari. Similarly as though they flock by the tens of thousands to Maroon Town every year in St. Elizabeth. Anyway, fortunately, on the spur of the moment, Mr. Bruce Goldyn agreed with me this morning that he will come here at 11 o'clock. That's great. That's great. Anyway, in 1962, the two parties, the heads of the two parties and the people who come together and write the Constitution of Jamaica that was to be applicable after the land was after the land was declared a country, along with the colonial capturers. Them build a tourism and investment attraction in 1962, because that's what they were doing, building a tourism attraction, building Jamaica as a tourism and investment attraction in 1962. And they named it out of many one. And they sold it to the Jamaican government, Jamaican voters. Those people sold that idea. Jamaica as a tourist attraction and an investment attraction. And them sold it to the Jamaican voters at a high price. High price. And Jamaica people bought it and bought into it. Bought it and bought into it, and don't ask if it has not cost them even more than the price what them agree for pay for it. They out of many one Jamaica as a tourist attraction and an investment attraction in 1962. Jamaica people buy into it with all their might. And it has cost them so much, may I tell you. I'm going to play the next piece of music by Stranger Cole, because this is what the price was. Rough and Tough by Stranger Cole.
Who are you that I should be mindful of? You run for refuge and were rescued. That's the fact, the undefeated. For the good you do is after you.
Yes, as Stranger say, you could huff and puff till you bust. Stop lie and stop bite the hand that feed you. Well, Black Uhuru going further the warning and the observation. Black Uhuru, a puff she puff straight. Yes, as I remind you all the while, the first two music I remember was banned by the politicians off of the radio. Banned by the politicians off of the radio. After Jamaica become an independent country. First two music was Blackhead Chinaman, because them claim say it criticize out of many. The music are criticized out of many, them motto where them impose upon the people. And they're not going to allow it to be played on the radio. Right, to criticize them motto out of many. And then ban it off the radio. Of course, it become more popular amongst the people the more them ban it. And the second one was the next year, 1963. Them ban this one off of the radio. And it applies to them, just like how them was sensitive about it in 1963. So it applies to them same way. Second music that was banned after independence, that I remember, maybe others was banned before, but these are the first two I remember. Carry go bring come. Carry go bring come. How long will the wicked reign? I tell you I don't like the new version them. You can't find the old version. But anyway, if you can't find the old version, well, we're going to play Blackhead Chinaman in the meantime. You think we have a next version there? 1963, Bustamante claims say, when Justin Hines say old Jezebel, Bustamante claims say him, Justin Hines attack. He must know if he was a old Jezebel in 1963. And you know what kind of character Jezebel is? Old Jezebel. Old Jezebel. Most Honorable Bustamante. Well, we're going to throw the stone back in the hog sty. I will see which old Jezebel it lick. Start right up from there.
Done stole my belongings and give to your Chinese man. God in heaven knows, He knows that you are wrong. Are you a Chinese man? Are you a black man? As you are the first black-head Chinese man, I did not know your poor parents were from Hong Kong.
Yes, morning to you. Welcome to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. By the way, let me remind you, well, it's not just word talk. I don't have to take my word for it. But I like the Chinese people very much. I like them, especially Chinese Jamaican. And them who have sense know that when we play this music and when we remember this history, them know it's not dislike on a Chinese people, especially Jamaican Chinese. And there have been anti-Chinese riot in Jamaica from in the early 20th century, in the 1915 and all them time, right up to 65. But that does not counteract the fact that the African people in Jamaica get along very well, for the most part, with Chinese Jamaican. And nobody not going to stop us from expressing ourselves, because who have sense know that what I say is true. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Small.
Yes, sir, Wagwan.
Yeah. Yes, you're talking about the Chinese. Yeah, and yesterday you were talking about the Commissioner of Police coming downtown Kingston. Yeah, he and the Chinese ambassador.
Yeah.
You know what I don't like about this commissioner, Carl Williams?
Yeah.
All the while you see me having a dark glasses on his face.
What's wrong with that?
Like he's hiding from someone. I don't like it, man.
When people have on dark glasses, that's the only thing that it means that them hiding from somebody.
What is most that he doing?
Then when Portia wear dark glasses, I hide child.
That glass of Portia wear sometimes. Is that dark like the commissioner one?
People have them choice. Then everybody must eh?
Yeah, but Freddy is a public figure like a commissioner of police. You have no need to wear dark glasses on your face when you.
All right, like how I see you, dodge me. More time I buck you up and I see you dodge me, you believe that I don't see you. I must dislike you because you are dodging me.
No, what you say? I don't wear dark glasses in them.
Yeah, when I come back, I'm a car broke in. I must say you do it just because I saw you dodging me.
No, man. The commissioner about his bodyguard wearing dark glasses. Eh? So, man, that's not a good stuff, man.
That not trouble me.
But I don't like Jamaica. I'm a Jamaican, you know.
You don't like dark glasses.
Another thing. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Goldyn will be coming on the program today.
Yeah.
Any ordinary listener like myself can call in and say something to him or question him?
It depends on if him how long him stay and if he's open to if him is open to it, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, look more.
Sir. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up, hello? Morning, welcome, Straight Up. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up, hello? Well, we are here broadcasting from the studios at News Talk 93 FM on the Mona campus of the University of West Indies. And heard all over. Yesterday we had a little problem for the first half hour with the telephones. Are you there? Good morning, welcome. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, welcome, Wagwan.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yes, sir.
Tell me which DJ played a song you think a Muslims they are cool breeze and he never take on good at all to the public.
Fire their Muslim
They are
still?
Muslims still and think a cool breeze.
Okay.
And he played music for a politician.
Uh-huh.
And yes, and I'm to know that man, certain people like him.
The DJ.
Yeah, you remember?
Remind me again.
No, tell you who, man.
Why you not telling me?
No, not on the radio. Somebody should tell you.
Why not on the radio?
Don't plow my heifer.
Don't plow your heifer. Plow your heifer. I don't plow heifer. I don't know if you...
You know the language. You know when something...
Yes, but plowing. How can... A heifer is a cow.
Yes.
And sometimes them use cow or oxen.
Is that me use the word or no?
Sometimes them use cow. No, how...
That come from?
Come from it?
Samson Delilah, you remember?
Yes, but
You
sometimes...
want a certain question,
Yes.
and he says, answer him, and he said, boy, I don't plumb heifer.
Look here. Sometimes they use oxen and cow to plow up field and put on the plow upon it and the oxen and the heifer. Draw them. But I don't know anybody plow a heifer. It sounds to me like bestiality.
No, man.
Yes,
No.
It sounds to me like...
You read the Bible then? When I was asking certain questions...
Plow the heifer?
Yes, man. I'll be fine until one next day. Yeah, man.
When you say heifer, is emphasizing your hatred. Is heifer you want to say? Or is really heifer?
Question for the man.
You sound like you...
And I ask
You sound like you're emphasizing your hatred, and I don't plow no heifer.
Is that right?
I don't know where you put your plow.
Is that right? But you remember the story, though? You remember the story? I don't know it.
Boy, may I tell you.
I think I don't know where the story is.
Yes, we have to live with mine from that.
So what, is a Bible story, huh?
But a lot of things in the Bible that is that need to live. And that's why the New Testament was written, because the Old Testament didn't want to live. Yes, sir.
Well, anyway.
But anyway, don't try to get no lift from the heifer.
Listen now.
I forgot.
I'm saying that the DJ played these songs.
Yeah.
And he played the one, you think a Muslims are cool breeze.
Yeah, he said...
I know, ask if they don't despise him after a while.
Yeah.
Because he was playing especially for a particular politician.
Yeah, but you're talking the same thing over and over.
All right.
Call again. And don't plow no heifer in the meantime. Good morning to you. Welcome straight up, hello?
Manager.
Welcome, sir.
My turn?
Yes, man.
Morning, man. I don't plow heifer. Plowed if you had not plowed with my heifer.
That's more so like it, but his mind is attracted to...
because back in them days, they cow them oxen draw the plow.
Yes, man.
Plow the land.
Yeah, true,
Anyway, yeah.
And them fertilize same time meanwhile them upload it.
See that?
Yeah.
Yesterday when we talked about the comet, you see?
Yes.
I don't think comets on fire, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because comets are mostly ice.
It's true, you know.
Icy bodies.
But
most of the time, it might have little rocks and things in there.
Yeah,
but it got a long tail until it approach the sun.
Oh.
The vapors around it now, it vaporize and it have a long luminescent tail, what I say.
Oh, so when we see it in the night there, it's really reflecting light from somewhere else.
From the sun, yeah. I think the vapors them probably luminescent, like out what you call the sparkling water.
Yeah.
But,
so
yeah, but it's mostly ice and make out of.
That sound like what I used to hear too.
And another thing now, yesterday you talk to a caller. And when you're not say, from your 11, 12, your eyes open to certain things.
Yeah.
And him say from him at 3 and so 3, 4 when him hear the cow jump over the moon.
Yeah.
I wonder if that caller do any more investigation or him just dismiss it out of hand about the cow jump over the moon, say cow can't jump over the moon.
Oh yes.
Because if you investigate a little further since them grew up, you'd find so that like the most them stories, all them stories are allegories and what you call idioms and figurative speech.
Yes, analogy.
Euphemism and stuff like that.
Yes,
because a lot of people talk in that way.
Yes,
especially in the Bible. That's how Eastern minds work with parables and euphemism and so idiomatic speech.
Yeah, very philosophical.
Because the cow jump over the moon back in them days, when they say the cow jump over the moon, you just have to say somebody pregnant.
Oh.
You understand? A little dog was a little man, a little sculptor made them and something we're working at the king, the palace.
The kitchen,
basement and thing.
Yeah.
I understand, because it's a scandal, but like how we can talk about
yes.
You couldn't talk about the king and his court.
So when them make a music about the scandal, them disguise it so that the king can't chop off. Yes, sir.
Because one of the princess, them they get pregnant for a little boy working at the kitchen.
Yes, our next princess was getting things at night time, and she can't explain it, and somebody tell her to say is plum pudding is riding her chest, because she shouldn't eat plum pudding so late at night, it not go down.
Yeah.
And that was the explanation she gives, say plum pudding and ride her chest at night time.
Ride her chest.
Where she get plum.
Uh-huh.
Well, thank you very much, yes, sir. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up, hello. Morning, welcome, Straight Up. Yes, come along, please, welcome. Yes, good, your time. Yes, hello? Yes, ma'am, how are you doing, ma'am?
Good morning to you.
Welcome, ma'am.
And to Jamaicans everywhere.
Yes.
The hearts and gentle people everywhere.
Yes,
good morning to you, not the wicked ones, not the wicked murderers in Jamaica. No good morning for you.
No.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I was want to say Mr. Goldyn. Mr. Goldyn coming on today.
Yes,
Mr. Goldyn, good morning to you. Special good morning to you, sir.
Yeah.
You know, I love you so much.
Yeah.
Because you know of the work that you made sure that during your time as Prime Minister, you went into St. Elizabeth, Northwest St. Elizabeth, and you saw the condition of the road, and you did something about it. But up until now, the phase 2 has not been touched.
You mean like upper Elderslie and them place, eh?
Huh?
Like upper Elderslie and those
No, man, not that side, over the other side, going to west. Went to the western side, New Market side there.
New Market, oh yes.
I heard about the killing up there. I inquired yesterday. I understand it's away up in Ginger Hill it took place up there.
Yeah.
And the guy, the poor little boy from Pittsburgh was killed.
Yeah.
Right? The little boy was sent back at the early school there, was killed. And let me tell you, so this murder going, at somebody from the area, you see that whenever them hoodie, you see whenever they hold themselves, is somebody from the area. Right? They and their cronies, them go outside there, but them go being cronies, come in the area, come and murder and rob people. In time you see them hoodie up themselves, they don't want to be identified. You understand me?
Yeah, ma'am.
And just want to thank you, Mr. Goldyn, and thank you very much, sir. Because you're a wonderful man, a great guy, great Jamaican. And this is how I see you. And, you know, and let me tell you something. Jerry, the roads are so bad. I can't tell you about it.
Yeah,
because, and the funny thing about it is, I don't know who, I see a guy say his name, I think it's Powell. PNP guy who be running against JT Simpson. You tell him not bother with it, you know. Don't bother because I was a little girl going up there. PNP, I think PNP must have won maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yes, all right, anyway.
Whenever the PNP people run,
yes, anyway.
Never do any work in the area. No,
yes,
never. I don't know the reason why they want
anyway, we can't take the campaign in here, sir. Thank you very much, here, ma'am. Straight up. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. Good morning, welcome. Welcome. Go ahead, please. Next one, good morning, welcome, Straight Up.
Hello, brother.
Yes, sir, welcome.
Morning.
Sir Coombs.
Yeah, you know, me born 1937, you know, and I have never seen a heifer cow draw plow. Them, the bull them,
yeah.
Them cut them and call them steer.
Oh.
Understand?
Yes.
I have never seen a heifer cow draw plow or a cat. I have never seen a bull. Them always have sufficient, and the one another stupid bull. Them cast away, but I stupid bulls don't know. They cast away most of them.
Yeah.
And call them steer.
Yeah.
The property don't sell steer, you know. After they reach a certain age.
Yeah.
Well, they sell them after they reach a certain working, like 10, 12 years on most Christmas and kill them and give the workers.
Oh.
You want to say me? I tell you what I know.
Yes.
But then you steer, then you have a bull and plow land.
Yeah.
A jackyard, right?
Yeah.
Steer, S-T-E-R.
S-T-E-R, yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right, have a good day.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up, hello. Morning and welcome, Straight Up, hello. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir Jerry, morning, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Tell Dogman, say once he's speaking the truth, you don't have to be fearful to say it.
Dogman, Willie, oh.
Yeah, in the 80s, Boogeyman was at JBC, and he selected a music for Mr. Siaga. The
Boogeyman.
Yes,
Boogeyman.
So he selected music for Mr. Siaga, say fire there must steal, you think a cool breeze.
Oh.
But when the song finished playing, he did not come back and hear.
Ajo?
Serious thing, man.
Oh, what you say?
I tell him say for something true.
It sounds familiar, although I don't particularly remember it.
Yeah, man. I just call you and tell you, never come back for a year.
Yes.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you very much, yes, sir.
All right.
Good morning, welcome to Straight.
Yes, Jerry, morning.
Wagwan.
Jerry,
yes,
you hear me?
Yes, sir, what?
Yeah, man, me there.
Yeah.
You need to listen to the program with Lambert Monday.
Some parts of it, which part?
The part you need to read the letter from Mr. Goldyn.
The letter, the letter between Mr. Goldyn and Mr. Bartlett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the letter have nothing but to do with him and the money I owed in church.
What the letter is about? What the letter say?
The central letter show me still, it show me like, the man I talk about, so them have to go find some money to deal with that, but he not talk about to find the money in a housing church. But Lambert I put in a sense like Mr. Goldyn did about that. He might try to spin it away then.
Yeah, spin. And you know that him love to quote about pathologically mendacious. Not true. Which means that you can't help tell lie.
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to know who can't help tell lie more than the board of the housing trust and the 5 trade unions that depend on it.
Yes, sir.
5 trade unions depend on the board. 4 of them is PNP sympathizer. And some of them are agitator too. And down to the head of the Civil Servant Association is a subject of the PNP. Subject. That's why the other day with the JUTC in back was so quick.
Wow.
Say I represent civil servant.
Yeah, man. It's terrible.
Terrible and dreadful. But they are shameless.
Yeah, man.
And them hold on.
Right, I can't pay the man in front of them.
Yeah, now if them not name food, you know. More time them all, you hear them all a swallow and a hawk and spit same time and a name food and a tie them necktie, a fix up them suit, them never have it so good.
You don't see it, that's why them must say them back so broad.
No, them back broad from before, but like the crab, the back is full of more.
Yeah, more.
And not only that, them buy out of many, out of the bowels of the rich class. They're buying all of the crap and the excrement from out of the bowels of the rich class. And the rich class are sell them crap and them buying it with poor people money.
Yeah.
They are from the bowels of the rich class.
Yes, it.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to Straight Up, hello. Welcome and
Whoa,
straight.
white man, you can
All right, hold on. Hear this now. We're going to cut your mic. Listen good enough. She may attack. We're going to cut your mic, but listen this good. We have found a cure for Ebola. And for that reason now we are telling you what you have to do. You want to come back on this program, you write a letter of apology to News Talk 93 and to Straight Up, not to me, to the program and to the listeners. You write a letter of apology. And after you write the letter of the apology and we get the letter of apology, then you may come back. And then when you come back now, you withdraw the reprehensible kind of statements you have made. And then afterward, we might subject you to a 1 or 2 question and then you may come back. So the first thing you do, write the letter of apology. And we get the letter of apology to Straight Up and to the station, not to Jerry Small. And then now we proceed from there. Let us see now. Let's go. I could say it go now. Next caller. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Go ahead, please. Welcome to Straight Up. Yeah, man. All right, now we're going to take some text message now. Good morning, Jerry. I believe it's because of Obia. Many people are getting away with murder and other serious crimes in Jamaica, coming from Patsy. It's not Obia make people get away with nothing. It's time you get certain thing out of your head, but I can't tell if you get certain thing out of your head because you're going to claim say African thing. You know, go and keep in your head. Go and keep Obia in your head and in your wardrobe. And in your ammunition, go and keep it there and see how far it can carry you. And claim say African thing. Well, me one of them, and I look no popularity of an African thing. So you keep your Obia and go and work it. Go and work it and see if it can protect you from anything. And I know you will believe in it more and more. Because you say, Obia is just the next form of religion. And people not going to let go them religion so easy. Especially if you criticize them. So people go and hold on upon religion, hold on upon Obia, just go and hold on upon it. And a lot of people holding on upon Obia now hold upon that thing because them come from Africa. Well, you know, go and hold on upon them, man. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Morning, Jerry.
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah, you're coming across very, very low, though, Jerry. I can hardly hear you.
All right, you go ahead. You're coming across clear.
All right. When JPS was sold to the bankrupt company there, I get the feeling that it was sold to secure pension for a person or group of persons.
Yeah.
Now, out of many, I have no doubt that it is probably the same scenario with out of many because I am in tourism. I don't see where out of many was an attraction in the beginning. As a matter of fact, if you tourists that I care about it, them complain how much them not like it and waste their money.
Yeah.
So I don't see the reason why people they should be buying. How can you buy a piece of land? First of all, Lambert Brown say a land then buy, no attraction.
Yeah.
Well, I have news to Lambert Brown. It is an attraction. So if you buy, you're buying the attraction. How can you buy the land and not buy the attraction when the attraction is on the land? Is he an idiot? Or is he too ugly to understand that?
Ugly? No, man. No bring looks in it, man. No bring looks in it, man.
It just, Jerry, I apologize, but let me tell you something, Jerry. It just hurt me so deeply to see the Prime Minister going back and forth talking about she didn't know anything about. I don't believe that.
So hold on. You used to believe her before?
Never, and it's worse now. And not only that, Jerry, but let me tell you the real truth. I can see through these people. And I wonder if the rest of Jamaica is seeing through these people. Because these people got all to come on TV and radio and chat them mouth full of lies all the time. Are people really looking through these people?
Oh, you mean, man, but you know that the majority of people in Jamaica know what them good for. You know that.
So how are they allowed to get away with these kind of things, Jerry?
No, I mean, how are they allowed? You allow it, and the people of Jamaica allow it, and anytime the people of Jamaica decide to put an end to it, there will be some upheaval in Jamaica. But
and then and then you have another set of income propaganda. No matter, the thing is in their face. It is in their face that these people are lying. And you have people coming to you to make excuses as if they want you in the same stupid barrel as them.
But what you must not, it don't make sense. Get yourself aggravated. You can't lick them and criticize them, but don't.
My goodness, Jerry.
No, man, don't get yourself too emotionally aggravated unless it's towards putting a stop to these things. Don't just.
Well, let us see, Jerry. Let us see, because I get a bad feeling about this thing, and the reason why it was done in secret, I believe. And I have
I do have a time. I really have to get in another call. But thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Morning. Welcome. Straight Up. We will lose that one. So it go. Next text message. The politics government system is like an ocean of sharks. The rat shark found only in Jamaica, like politician. Them love deep brief them one another. Coming from Danny in Mandeville. You must think of Danny Melville or Mandeville. Next one. Good morning, Jerry. If Portia think she is a leader, make she fire anyone and ask anyone to resign, and then she will see what she will see. Well, you have a point there, because it is our advisors who name out who she's supposed to put on the board. You know. And now she make up the list of people to put on the board. You know. It's her advisor them. And the advisor them is even more scheming than the board of the National Housing Trust itself. The advisor them. Some real shark. In a necktie and jacket. Next one. When the politicians them mess up things, them blame and point finger at each other. Coming from Danny Mandeville again. Next one. Ask Bruce if he regrets admitting he handed out guns to gunmen who likely used them to commit crime. Well, to my memory, I don't remember Goldyn admitting to handing out no guns. I heard Goldyn and saw him on TV say, I used to associate with gunmen. And him talk how him used to use them to back off PNP voters and other thing. I never hear him say him hand out in it, but I hear him say it. And I want to show his to him credit, because you never hear PJ Patterson and Eddie Siaga admit any such thing about being associated with gunmen. And matter of fact, both of them, Siaga and Patterson, closed ranks against Goldyn when he admitted that being associated with gunmen. They closed up together and denied knowing anything about that and tried to leave him exposed. And I think him deserve more credit than them and many others who hand is bloody. Many others who hand is bloody. I never said them hand bloody. No. Others who hand is bloody. So you can come challenge. Good morning, and let's go to the 10 a.m. headlines.
Good morning with the latest headlines. I'm Kayla Wright. Permanent Secretary in the Agriculture Ministry, Donovan Stanberry, has defended the competence of his internal audit team, saying he has every confidence in it. The Permanent Secretary's position rejects a claim contained in a November 7 letter to him from Dennis Hickey, who is the former chairman of the ministry's Agro Investment Corporation. Stanberry has challenged claims that he is on a mission to impugn an individual's character as part of a plan to respond to the Agri-Parks audit. The medical fraternity is now in mourning following the murder of one of their members in St. James last night. The deceased has been identified as 54-year-old practical nurse Janice Larmon Wilson of Pleasant View in Salt Springs, St. James. Reports are that at around 8 p.m., the nurse and a child accompanied a friend to Coral Gardens in the parish. After leaving the friend, Larmon Wilson and the child were walking along the road when they were abducted by men traveling in a Toyota Altis motorcar. The abductors took the nurse to a section in White House in the parish, where they forced her to lie down, then shot her twice in the head. The killers then released the child along Orange Street in the vicinity of Cornwall College. The St. James Police are investigating the matter. After a historic but awkward comet landing, the robot probe Philae is now stable and sending pictures, but there are concerns about its battery life. It may be problematic to get enough sunlight to charge its batteries. Launched in 2004, the European Space Agency mission hopes to learn more about the origins of our solar system. And those are the stories making the latest headlines. News next at 11 o'clock. Stay tuned. Straight Up with Jerry Small continues. I'm Kayla Wright.
Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small, and we are at News Talk 93 FM here. And we are heard all over. Let's go with the rest of the telephone calls. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, go ahead, please. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Next one. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up.
Mr. Small.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Everything all right?
Yeah, man. No complaint.
Yes, sir. At your age, you seem to be in demand, man. If you're that young girl that is told to, why you give her so many herbal fast if she wants to be one of your conquests? Why you do that?
Give her.
You in demand, man, at your age?
Give her so much what?
Hurdles. to surmount if she wants to be one of your conquests. I don't understand that. That's you.
Which young girl that you're talking?
The girl that you told to this and to that if she wants to be this or she wants to be the beat.
You mean the one we tell must write a letter to have apology?
I think you say if she wants to be one of your conquests. It's a conquest.
Nothing young about her at all.
No, you don't. You have any evidence?
Yes, man. It's a stewing.
No, don't go with that.
No, it's a stewing hen. It's a stewing hen.
All right, let's move on, man. Because you must apologize to some of the listeners more than you want them apologize to you.
All right, like who? Like for instance who?
All right, man. Mr. Bargard, no, sir.
Mr. Barry.
Somebody mentioned him earlier on.
Yes.
And I just want him just admire how he has been in real near party, and still retain that voice,
Yes, go on now.
Yes. I don't think only Dorian Samuel and Arnold Marcus must young with them in the radio now longer than him, if I'm not mistaken.
Longer than who?
Bargard.
They were about Dermot.
I think he was on and off, so I think Dorian and Alan. They're consistent. He was on and off. But his vice man, they retain that vice man.
So what about Dermot Hussey?
So it's about consistent people and the thing, man. We have to give Alan Martin and Dorian it, man. Because then they can read up front and close.
No, it look like you don't know about Dermot Hussey anyway.
He's a musicologist, man. I don't know, man. They're not from one station, they know. Yeah, man. I know him, man. What a good stand, man. The man deal with music now and again.
Not now and again. No, not now and again. Straight through.
Me not finish yet,
Why you say you don't finish quarrel yet?
That nomination yesterday, what do you think about it? Do you think based on what the Labour Party said, they have a chance to come out?
I don't have much interest in a GLP, PNP politics.
Yeah, right. Mr. Goldyn last night, yesterday, was on another radio station. Did you hear him?
Yes.
Talk about Mr. Simsmilla's style and weakness, and as if he has forgotten Seymour. I wonder why.
Well,
he was the creator of his own political demise, no? If I may say so.
Yes.
And what we find that he's a very good analytical brother, and he can analyze things properly,
Yeah.
And that's what he used and fooled most of the people in the private sector during the 90s and them way. That's why them back him up both in them pocket and them words and them way there, right?
Yeah.
And if Mr. Perkin, if Mr. Perkin was around, I asked him which two prime ministers him disappointed in. He would tell Michael Manley and Bruce Goldyn. I asked him which out of the two shot them most. He would tell Bruce Goldyn.
Yes.
Mr. Goldyn disappointed a lot of people.
Yes. You in contact with Perkins? All right, okay.
Next time, Mr.
Yes. Yeah, it look like Perkins are calling. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, Jerry, all the while me listen to your program, Jerry.
Are true?
Yeah, man, I mean people call and I come to with problem and I ask for the solution, like say, and you tell them all the while so they can gather up and come with their idea, everything.
Yes.
But now I have to know something now, Jerry. If a person call you,
yes,
I ask you for your help if you can't help them.
If me can't help them?
Yes.
And if I can't help them, I must con them?
No, for me, a lady call you one time saying sick with the heart. You have to go here, so and you ask him, say, where doctor name and this. And he say, well, mattress. They look how long in the power radio, Jerry. You couldn't offer the woman and buy the woman one mattress.
Mattress? And then every woman in Jamaica will want a mattress. Go and come ask me if you have a mattress.
If you do that?
Yes.
No, man. But you the parent and you talk about good, Mr. If your heart no good and think could help the old lady here, the old lady who is sick. And if I tell you, I tell you, listen to them, so you apologize. And if you apologize to listen to them for you disrespect them all the while you disrespect them.
All right, I don't doubt you. Remind me, tell me about one when I disrespect.
If a person call you,
no, not a person.
You have to say, you cut him off. Next caller, please.
Then how I don't cut you off, you know?
But I don't disrespect you, but if a person call you, I agree for you.
But I do agree.
No. And it's Christian man. A Christian man tell you if he married and having a wife.
Yeah.
And if he forcing your wife is sex.
Yeah.
And then call if he rape, you say him is a Christian.
Yeah.
But no fight time, enough man not talk the truth.
Yeah,
but if you live with your wife, and enough time you're going with your wife, and your wife agree if he sex.
Yeah.
And enough, but enough man not go say that. The more talk and they live cleaner than yard, and they my best relationship.
Yes, but hear this now.
Yes.
When you start talking, see, I disagree with everything what you say, and I don't cut you off.
But me not disrespect you.
No, you don't. But you said if somebody disagreed with me, I cut them off, and I disagree with everything from the first word where you start say, and I just allow you to go on.
I know, but me listen all the while. Me just want to say you disrespect about them come from the boys of the who. What do you mean by they come from the boys of the working class?
No, but they say so.
Disrespect that.
No, but Lambert Brown and Portia Simpson Mill and a lot of other people say that they come from the bowels of the working class.
What that mean?
Bowels is a place when you go to the bar to the lavatory.
Yes.
And you want to
don't disrespect that.
Would you allow me to finish? When you go to the lavatory and you want to let off waste matter, you let it off by sitting down on the lavatory and the waste matter come out through your bowels.
Yes.
So how, if they say that they come from the bowels of the working class, you know what they make out of. But yes, I don't come from the bowels. I come from the womb.
Yes.
You know what come from womb?
Yes.
What come from womb?
Lambert Brown said that.
Yes.
Him say that him come from it, but you are tell the person that them come from it, and you know, so nobody can come from this. So you are disrespect them.
No, but they say that they come from there. I can't doubt them.
You say that.
No, they say that
nobody can come from no. But if a man this all the 5 times you this all of woman account with them all hen and this, you know what a man disrespect you.
Not all hen. I didn't say all hen. I said stewing hen.
I want to tell you woman like him say how much he didn't have him all mother cow and something there. You know what nobody disrespect your wife.
Mother cow.
You know what a man call you and disrespect your wife. You say your wife a all cow and come. You don't feel long.
No.
You don't feel bad about it.
No. Listen here now. You know, say I give double the time when I give other people.
Yes.
I wonder why. Why you think me give double the time?
I don't know why. Because me attack facts, me attack the truth.
Truth, well.
So you listen all you disrespect enough of the callers then.
Yes.
And you face it too.
Yes.
For me even hear the man when you come the man on sports come with oral traces saying listen enough time I hear you hash and peppery.
Yeah.
Enough time you disrespect the callers then wicked. I say some things but you go like you are pretty tough but are straight. Disrespect you are disrespect.
Yes. But you listen every day though. Are you there? Hello, are you there? No, I answer that if you listen every day. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up, hello?
Yeah, morning, Jerry.
Welcome. Sorry to hold you up so long, but we had a very interesting person there.
Interesting indeed. You know?
Yes.
And I wonder where he is because maybe you haven't heard the Prime Minister said that she's from the bowel of the working class.
She said so.
Of course, but these people, they are in denial.
Yeah.
You see, and what I want to say, to be honest with you, with Eastern Douglas, Eastern Douglas supposed to feel like a king on his throne.
Yes.
Eastern Douglas bread butter 2 sides. In fact, 1 side with jam and 1 side with butter.
Yeah?
Yes. They are naming street after him with all this animosity that is going on and this mess that is going on in the housing trust.
Yeah.
With him presiding over it.
Yeah.
And the Prime Minister came into Parliament and stood up in Parliament. Sense of him. On the board.
Yeah.
It really amazed me. Sometimes I wonder where these people head space in my brother.
Yeah.
Guy have these little clique, claiming that Jamaica belonging to them.
Yeah.
So them run Jamaica in their own interest, not in the people's interest.
Yeah.
And you have some what you call some fools also, out there jumping on the bandwagon and supporting because they can't get a little trickle down. You see, well, I am not for sale, basically. All right? So it kind of amazed me to see basically, these people behavior. And as I said previously, we need to overhaul the Constitution where we can send these people go to prison, impeach them and send them go to prison.
All right. Well, that takes some work, though. That takes some work.
Yes, definitely.
What kind of work that take?
That take work from the people, You know, basically, because we are the one that is feeling it. Because
no, I don't want to know the causes. Look, I don't want to know the causes because that will take all day. What kind of work it take to overhaul the Constitution and
well, basically, we have to rewrite the Constitution.
No, I mean, what is the work, you know? So what kind of work it take for reaching a situation where you can force the overhaul in the Constitution of Jamaica? What kind of work?
We have to do it at the ballot, basically.
Ballot. No, hear me now. They set the ballot. They set the ballot, and up to the time, you know, is two political parties dominate the politics of Jamaica. So, you know, say it takes some harder work and some more intelligent work to get the people in mind acquainted with the reality that certain things can be done. You know that?
Yes.
All right. You think you can work through the PNP or through the JLP and get the changes needed that is desirable for Jamaica? You think you can work through them two parties? Yeah?
Well, to be honest with you, it seems, it looks feasible.
Okay. All right. I'll end it there because we have 3 more callers and we have our guests here. But
yeah, man.
Another time we'll talk some more. Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello. Morning. Welcome. Straight Up.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
I'd like to talk to you about the prisoners people who commit themselves.
Yeah.
And like all them people working at the tax department there.
Yeah.
You see those kind of people who work so much money and you see them go back or rob all different kind of money.
Yeah.
Them people when them get convicted and go to prison, you know, their money should take care of them, you know.
Their money should take care of them.
Yeah. The taxpayers' money shouldn't be used to feed and protect them.
Yeah, well, there would have to be some official rules about that. You can't just wish that to happen.
No, I know. You see, like Mr. Goldyn and things they should reach him that them go to Parliament with it.
Mr. Goldyn, what?
Mr. Mark Goldyn.
Yeah.
The
Minister of what them say now? Justice. Yeah.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Him is the one who's supposed to look into this matter.
Yeah, but
and take it to Parliament.
Yeah, but the reality of life is, especially life in Jamaica, is not that by wishing these things and by wishing Mr. Goldyn to do it, him going to do it. That's not the reality.
I understand.
Yeah, could you name a country in the world that you admire how the people have taken charge of how government is shaped? You can name a country in the world that admire people doing that.
Well, like Cuba.
Yes, I admire them too. Even though I don't want to live under a communist regime, I admire them very much. Yeah. And who else again?
Even the United States.
Exactly, so I admire them two countries for that thing. Although none of them is safe, neither of them is safe, but I admire the people's action. Even when the people's action, like in the United States, was not intended to benefit the black people in America. Eventually it did benefit them, but I still admire them, because whenever you do something that is in the right direction, even if you do it selfishly, eventually it will benefit other people who you never intended to benefit. Yes, I admire them two countries for that. And we stay one side and admire them for these things. And at the same time, most of our males in Jamaica are full of cowardice. And because of that, very few of us contemplate agitating, familiarizing people with possibilities and taking the action that is necessary. Very few of us. Cowardice full of most of the males in Jamaica. But I will never be downhearted still, you know, because it is inevitable.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Okay then.
Well, we spend so much time with these two last calls that we'll lose about a couple calls. We're going to run the numbers. Run the numbers for me, please. For Straight Up, we have a choice of numbers. 702-3470. 702-3470. 702-2585. 977-702-2585. 977-7638. 977-7638. Toll-free line 1-888-991-5155. Toll-free 1-888-991-5155. Digicel number 618-1823. Digicel 618-1823. All straight lines. Text line 899-7657. Text line 899-7657. We also stream live at www.newstalk93fm.com. www.newstalk93fm.com. Yes, welcome. Hello? Welcome back to Straight Up. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, welcome.
Good day, Mr. Small.
Yes, ma'am, welcome.
I hear you give her my trash.
Yes, but I can only give her one.
Only one?
Yes.
You have any Panadol?
Panadol? If me have any?
Yeah.
Second hand one.
Second hand one. Anyhow, I'm not begging any flex to set.
No, flex? You're not begging none?
No.
You're forced?
Not at all.
You're forced it?
No, not at all. Anyhow, tell me something now. This NHT thing is very serious, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
And I hear a certain gentleman making a very passionate plea that the housing trust didn't buy anything but property.
Yeah.
And a lot of confusion, very passionate plea, but I think he made a passionate mess of the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're trying their best to confuse people, and people are seeing through it.
Yes.
And I really hope the lady who says she's honest will somehow come to her senses and do the right thing.
Yeah, hoping. By your experiences and by your observation of Jamaica, do you expect the lady to do so?
Not at all. Not at all. Not
so
at
you are
all.
hoping.
But I don't. But I'm still hoping.
You don't expect it. Okay, you don't expect it, but you are hoping for it.
Hoping, yes.
What kind of
hoping.
philosophy you call that? When you don't expect something, but you're hoping for it.
Plain stupidity, Mr. Small. Plain stupidity.
Yeah.
But it's a serious thing, and I don't know what will happen. But they have confused.
Now hear this now, ma'am. Hear this now, ma'am.
Yes.
I was present in February 1992 at a Black History function in Kencott, somewhere about Kencott there, when the Maroon community presented a couple ladies with a nanny award. It was in the form of a bang mounted on a plaque. And they presented Portia Simpson with one, and they presented Enid Bennett with one. Enid Bennett was an MP for the Labour Party. And some years later, I think it was in 2007, after Portia Simpson Miller became Prime Minister of Jamaica, she took out this award that she got 15 years before. And she paraded it and proclaimed that she is nanny. And the Maroon community contacted her and said she must do no such thing, and reminded her that they didn't give her this award for it to be used politically. Now, you know the history of Nanny, and Nanny had several brothers who betrayed the best interests of the Maroon people. And Nanny separated herself from them and removed from them, and she never agreed to many part of the treaty that they agreed to. You think the Prime Minister is in the style and the leadership and the kind of qualities of Nanny?
Clearly not, Mr. Small. You know that they use these things like the rod of correction and everything for political gimmickry.
I think that people put too much burden upon her.
Yes.
Because she yes. All right, I'm going to spend some more time there because this is very important.
Yes.
Even though we have some callers waiting.
Okay.
Do you know how the Prime Minister came to prominence and to the top rank leadership of the PNP?
Smatterings, not completely, under the tutelage of Mr. Spalding.
Tony Spalding, Dudley Thompson, Hopeton Caven, and some more.
Right.
And that they were under she was under their tutelage, but after that she graduated bigger than their tutelage, and she became a prominent leader of the PNP. You don't remember how it happened? Even most members of the PNP don't remember it.
Yeah, well, please refresh my memory because it don't go that far.
Well, during 1980 and after 1980, after a whole heap of them run away in a cowardice.
Oh, yes.
She did stand up more than them, more than any of the male them, including Michael Manley. She. And that is how she gets such a powerful rating in the PNP. And a matter of fact, they had to depend on her from then on, that when things get really rough, especially out the street, it's she who did provide some more courage than most of them. You understand me?
Yes.
Now, this is part of our skills and also campaigning and that kind of thing. And these are very rough areas of endeavor.
Yeah.
And a whole heap of people have put on some other burden upon her.
Yeah.
Some other intellectual and other burden upon her.
Yes, I'm misleading her.
No, hold on.
Confusing her.
No, listen.
Man say one thing, Mr. Brown say something else, and then she just patched the two things in her speech.
The reason why I extend this call is because I had to try to explain something. I don't want to get emotional and get twisted in anything. But I was just going to say something, and I'm better say.
All right, thank you.
No, she's not intellectually inferior, no. But I'm saying that people have put on a whole heap of responsibility on her, which she is not prepared for. I am not prepared to be an economist. I'm not prepared to be a lawyer. I'm not prepared to be an airline pilot, but none of them is outside of my capabilities. I am not prepared for them. It's not that I can't do it, you know. I have not prepared for them. And when I say that she has not prepared for it, I don't mean that she can't do it, you know. She has spent her time preparing for other things. It's not that she couldn't be a lawyer or airline pilot. If she did spend her time preparing for it, she would master them, I believe. Anyway, long story short. Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Good morning.
Welcome.
Mr. Smart?
Yes, go ahead, please. You only have a minute.
I want to say good morning to Mr. Goldyn.
Yeah, he's not here yet. Not until 11 o'clock.
Yes, a man of integrity, a man who loves Jamaica, and I am not a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party, though, but I see that man was well-intentioned, but I don't know. I would like you to ask him. You see? Yes, me?
I hear you.
Ask him why he laid his career on the line for a man like to do. And number two, ask him if he thinks Mr. Small had done a good job in defending him in the manner thing.
No, if I am going to ask him the questions that you want to ask him, and that some other people else have called in and they want to ask him, I'm not going to have the time to ask him the things that I want to ask him. So
no, but please.
You're not listening to me at all. You're not listening to me at all. You're not listening. No, you're not listening to me at all. You're not. Yes, but hear me now. You're not listening to me at all. And you know what happened now? I'm not going to listen to you at all neither. Let's go for a break. Straight.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smart. And I told you a couple of times about this little young lady here. And I'm going to make her introduce herself. She is a student at the University of the West Indies and a producer of radio programs in addition to that. And she must have told me, you know. But it just slipped back out of my mind. She must have told me that she was studying law at some time. But it must have just slipped out of my mind. It's just the other day I see her arranging up some papers, and when I look upon them, it's pure legal papers, and I realize and I ask her, and she confirmed that she even finished studying law. Not finishing her, she has completed her legal studies to be qualified. Let her introduce herself. And the reason why I am also pleasantly surprised is that what she's modest, you know, and she's so busy she don't have time for show off. Introduce yourself, please.
Morning, everyone. I'm Kimberly Whitaker, and I am the producer for Fresh Start, and I have just completed my academic tenure at the Norman Manor Law School. So I'm an attorney in waiting, basically.
You are what?
An attorney in waiting. I'm not yet called.
Yes, not yet called to the bar.
No.
No. having been engaged in the study of law, at least for the past, 3, 4, 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years. How did you get time to get involved in radio and media production? And not only time, but what drew you to it?
I was exposed to media through one of my close friends, my closest friend, Crystal Tomlinson.
Yeah.
She worked on the program and she exposed me to it.
Yeah.
And I realized that I had a passion, especially working behind the scenes,
yeah,
where I would interact with the guests, I would book them, I would plan the programming, and in order to do so, I would have to do research, I'd have to read, so I became aware of topical issues. So separate and apart from reading my legal books, I was forced, because of the work, to engage myself in affairs internationally, regionally, and locally.
Yeah. So now, I find and I found from I was young that the practice of law and the practice of information journalism call upon very similar faculties of your mind.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. But you have done the thing in almost a reverse way to most ladies in Jamaica who have endeavored both things. Because I can name Helen Cole in Nicholson,
yes,
with whom I used to work on Hot 102 more than 10 years ago. I can name Emily Crooks.
Yes.
I can name Dion Jackson Miller,
yes,
as ladies who were involved in media, journalism first, and then chose to add and further them roundedness and them reach by doing law.
yes.
But you on the other hand now started in law, you know?
Yes, I started in law. I
Yeah.
actually have a first degree
Yeah.
in history.
Oh, yeah?
I did European history at UE.
Oh, yeah?
And then I decided to do law.
Yeah?
Yes.
What part of Jamaica you grew up?
New Kingston. I'm
Yeah?
a Kingston
Yeah?
girl.
Where you went to school?
St. Andrew High School for girls.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Like some of my daughters, including one who's a lawyer.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome school.
I went to the prep school. Because the prep school is co-educational, you know?
Oh, I went to St. Hugh's Preparatory School.
Yeah?
It's the best.
Yes, yes, yes. So, what branch of law attracted you the most?
Well, initially when I started, or when I became inclined to the law, I wanted to prosecute.
Yeah.
I watched Law and Order and I'm like, I want to be a top-notch prosecutor.
Yeah.
But viewing Jamaica's legal system right now, I don't think that would be the best area for me to go in. While studying, I realized that I like personal injury and civil, so I'm leaning that way.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, I'm open to learning. Even though I finished school, I am currently doing a course at the Dispute Resolution Foundation in mediation, so I'm just trying to constantly grow and trying to constantly educate myself so that, one, I can become more marketable, and also I would be able to apply the knowledge in my own personal life and in my affairs here at work at Newstock.
Yeah. I find that people do best in callings and occupations that them like.
Yes.
Not true.
Yes, that's true.
And there, it is thought, and I believe it's true. It is thought that there's an oversupply of lawyers in Jamaica.
Well, I can understand where that perception comes from. In my graduating class, 230 of us graduated, and you know that's unprecedented, because in previous years you had classes of 70 graduating, and up to recently there are about 1,000 lawyers. But with the influx of students, because schools such as University of Technology, they have their own law program. The University of the West Indies, Mona, has separated from Barbados, which I think the graduating class is probably 100 from the UE group. So there is an influx. There is a lot of there are lots of students and there are lots of lawyers now, but there will always be legal work. That is how I counteract that. And it will open up the market, and demand and supply, prices will be driven down. The ordinary, the common man who may have thought that access to legal services was out of their reach, they can be able to take people to court who they couldn't have afforded before. So it's all for the benefit of Jamaica.
Well, from my experience, there's oversupply. When I say oversupply, a lot. So we might say over, but some others might not say over. The oversupply of lawyers, just like when I was in the taxi world, and even worse now, there's an oversupply of taximan. Yes. But the best taximan, them and woman, them will always have work. The best. And if you like your work, you will do well at it and you will have work. Yes. There might be dry, so-called dry periods, but the best people will always have.
They'll rise to the top.
Then we have an oversupply of work, though.
That's true.
And so you're going to join a firm?
At this point, I am not looking to join a firm. I'm currently looking about my documents to be called, and I have an entrepreneurial mindset. So I would like to start my own business. I know that's going to take capital, it's going to take time, it's really going to take a lot, but I'm determined to do what I have to do and take one jobs until I make it.
Just before I ask you the next important question, you're related to Lance Whitaker?
I'm not sure. No. Not that I know.
Why I ask is because not only is he a media person,
okay,
but very fluent and well poised in language and so on,
Okay.
So the other thing is this, as I said earlier, and you saw the surprise on my face last week when I asked you what you study. You must have told me before,
Yes.
But it just went out of my mind. And it's because I think you are kind of demure and kind of modest and not the typical, self-preoccupied person who people associate with
law.
With law.
Okay.
And so it is also the way your personal demeanor, because you keep yourself, you are very dark, very beautiful, and very modest, and you keep yourself natural.
Thank you.
And I don't think you keep your preoccupation with how you look and how, I don't think you're preoccupied with that. The nicest ladies are not preoccupied with that, but them conscious still of themselves.
Yes.
So what amused about that?
No, I just laughing because, as you say, a lot of persons expect flashiness, they expect gaudy behavior, and to be seen.
And some of that is admirable, but
it is. But at times you need to know when to observe. I'm a very observant person.
Yeah.
And I came to New Stock to do my work. So when I started, I was at school, so I was balancing work and school. So I knew my objective was not to glorify myself as a producer.
Yeah.
I think my role is to take the back seat and ensure that my hosts are able to perform to the best of their abilities. So I'm a facilitator here.
Yeah. And you're very familiar with down-to-earth people out the street and so on?
Yes, I am.
You were not from high school days or what?
No. I have family from all walks of life, and I have mentored persons from the inner city as well, trying to get them to see that there's more to life. A lot of persons that I've encountered in inner city communities lining my lines, for example, where I tried to do a program where they could generate income and encourage them to go in school. I realized that a lot of them, they didn't know that there was university, so the buck stopped at high school. So I tried to level with them, talk to them, and get them to try to achieve more, stimulate their brain, ask them questions. Yeah, just go to their level. You see, if you come high and mighty, they're going to look and judge you and say you don't understand. But if you listen to them and just meet them on their level. They'll have respect for you.
Well, we're almost up on the break, so I think we're going to take the break a few seconds early, so we can flow and come back straight up. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I have my guest here today. She's a media person, and also she is a trained lawyer waiting to be called to the bar and to be called an attorney at law, Miss Kimberly Whitaker. When my daughter, I have two daughters are lawyers, and the elder one is my second child, and when she had gone about 7 years of practice in Jamaica, she had to migrate to take up a much better job that would allow her to keep growing at the rate that she had to, because she had made some commitments and she had to keep going at a certain rate.
Yes.
When she was leaving Jamaica, she cried in disappointment that she had to be leaving Jamaica to keep some of their commitments met.
Yes.
Cried in embarrassment, and I had to remind her that she should not feel embarrassed, because most of the people who have done great things in Jamaica have had to live abroad from time to time. But there's Norman Manley having to go abroad to study, because even going abroad to study is having to live abroad so that you can manage back your country.
Yes.
And not only that, his trip abroad was extended by serving in the army unexpectedly. Where there's Marcus Garvey, who migrated and went all over the place. Many other people of our people,
yes.
Male and female, Una Marson, have had to suppose that sometime it faced you that you have to live outside Jamaica, whether for 2 years, 5 years. How would you feel?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I've also been applying in the Caribbean region as well.
Yeah.
When we leave Norman Manley,
yeah.
we are able to practice in the Caribbean.
Entire Caribbean. You're qualified. You're
qualified, yes.
Yeah.
So we just have to be called in that territory.
Yeah.
I lived in Barbados for 2 years, going to undergrad law there, and I realized that the exposure, Jamaica is a great island, but people think differently elsewhere. Just exposure and challenging the mind, exposure to different cultures. I believe that everyone should have the opportunity to travel for an extended period to get them out of the comfort zone, get them out of the comfort level. While I was in Barbados, it was challenging. It was challenging because we think that everybody thinks the way we do, and when we're confronted with change and difference and opposition, we tend to be very reactive. You just have to understand everybody grows up different, everybody's exposed to different things, and that is the reason I'd go to Trinidad. I've traveled there before. I would practice there. I'd practice in other small territories. US, right now I'm not too minded to go there because I've spent so long in school, and then I'd have to basically go back, possibly do another degree. The exceptions would be, I think, in New York and California, where you just did a bar exam. But for right now, I'm tired of school, so I wouldn't go there.
Was Abgat Fitzhenley ahead of you at Keville?
I would believe.
Oh, so he and him never encountered.
No.
And he's I think he has either interrupted his law studies, or he's probably still going out with it, but he's now one of the best young people in media today, you know.
Yes.
By the way, did I see you one day have to host the program in the absence of somebody?
Briefly.
I think so. I think I remember that.
Yes.
Or was it?
It's different being behind the mic.
Yeah.
Right now, it's very different for me.
Yeah.
In the production chair, the time goes very quickly when you're behind the mic.
Yeah.
It takes forever.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience, learning experience, and once you're comfortable, I believe you can do great things.
Yeah. Just as I am speaking to you now, I have had to, I'm still trying to curb myself, not not speaking too much if I'm interviewing somebody, not speaking too much if I am talking to somebody on the phone.
Okay.
Especially if I am enthusiastic about the person. Sometimes I tend to be talking more than them.
Yes.
But just as one of the best things is when you realize that it is best, the conversation, the interview is best when I am talking to you, thinking about you rather than the whole many people.
That's true.
And so it is even when you are at the mic here talking to the public, whether responding to a phone call or giving your opinion or announcing something or reading the news. It is best to think of yourself and focus on one listener. Not a personality that you know, but what? You're talking to a listener,
yes,
not to a crowd. And I think
zoning.
You're a fan myself talking too long again.
No, but that's okay. We'll code practice. I agree as well. That's one of the pointers that I give my host as well. When you think...
You have to prepare the host too.
Yes. So when you think that you're talking to a mass, that you tell them things that they don't need to know, and it's not personal. Persons would feel that it's going over their heads. You're not connecting with anyone. So I agree with your point.
Yeah. Have you ever had to be a student representative?
Well, in different capacities. I remember in high school, regular prefect. I used to live on Taylor Hall when I was doing my undergrad law degree, and I served as secretary there in student government. Awesome experience.
Yeah.
While in law school, because I was juggling work and school, I didn't really have the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. And you're juggling work and school because you had to.
Yes, as you grow older, more responsibilities. Yeah. I took student loan, so I have to be mindful. I can't just sit and wait until the very last to start preparing to pay back. I have to think about my responsibilities and act accordingly. I can't act carefree.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have younger siblings, brothers and sisters, older?
I'm an only child.
Yeah?
Yes.
For your mother?
For both.
Yeah?
Yes.
Very, very unusual and unique.
Yes. I think they took off what they could manage. And
yeah, that's great. Yes. No, I have many children and I have no regrets about any of them. Is great. But my time of growing up and early adult responsibilities was very much easier than now. And
the cost.
Yes, and I don't advise. Matter of fact, I've had to change many views. And some of my brethren and sisters as Rastafari might even be offended at some of the changes of views that I have there. But I think it's better to have courage more than to have a whole lot of friends, you know?
Yes, I used to say I wanted six children.
Yeah.
But now that I'm growing older and seeing how hard it is, I can't even imagine myself with one.
Yeah.
Funnel.
Yeah. Now Jamaicans are thought both by ourselves and by others to be, generally speaking, very assertive. I'm not going to use the word aggressive. Very assertive.
Yes, that's true.
And not going to put up with too much this or that and that. On the other hand, this assertiveness has not been reflected in the national life. I don't think so. Of the national life and of changing things for the better.
I agree. I was on Twitter last night and I brought up that point that we as Jamaicans were very complacent. We may be angered over an issue, but it quickly becomes 9-day news. We jump on the bandwagon and we talk and talk and talk, but no one does anything. We put persons in a seat of position or authority, and they're not held accountable. They get up and they can do anything, and they don't have to give us any answers. If they choose not to, oh well, and then we're comfortable with it. I think we need to agitate for change. We need to become. We're uncomfortable, but it needs to show. We need to show that we're not going to sit there and take.
And is it feasible and possible?
Yes.
That either you individually or a group of you who know and trust one another and respect one another have a certain level of integrity, a group of maybe 10 or 20, or you individually,
yes,
could go into any political movement in Jamaica and gradually get it to steer in a better direction, much higher? Or you think that it is likely, like all of our observances up to now, that the parties will change you and your group of 10 or 20?
Well, I believe that I think persons going to politics with good intentions. I don't think they're going there to become corrupt or not to do anything. A group of 10 and 20, that is, or 20, that's a big group which may allow for some change. However, when you go into a party, that's an organization, and if you are in opposition, you're going to get held down. Your view is not going to see the light of day to the wider public.
Yeah.
So it's a hard road ahead. So the top of the organization, the middle, the bottom, those coming in, those in there for 10 years, 5 years, how long? Everybody needs to come together and just...
Do you think that we are satisfied in political life with mediocrity? You think you are satisfied with mediocrity in political life?
Yes, I believe so. I don't think that, as I said before, we don't hold anybody accountable. So if they choose to do this, if they choose to pass this bill and they don't take the right amount of time, oh well, we'll read about it, grumble a little bit, but no real agitation is there. So we are satisfied, unfortunately.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I was invited on a live at 7 to discuss who is the most successful politician in Jamaica. And I told the people, without doubt, PJ Patterson.
Yes.
Far more than Buster Man, than Michael Manley. And I explained why too. Don't explain why. Yes, I explained why it was so.
Yes.
I explained that it was so, and also why it was so. And my explanation, because I've been observing him from I was about 15 years old, 1963, when he just come back to Jamaica. And he is underrated. And I don't know which intelligent person would not want to be underrated. If somebody is intelligent, would you prefer to be overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Shot them. They don't expect it, so.
And that's why I was able to put Siaga out of political life. Siaga, not only Siaga, but Bruce Goldyn said of PJ that I'm sorry for PJ, because PJ is like a boy in a man's job.
Really?
I don't think PJ did answer them.
Okay.
Anyway, so you understand that it is better to be underrated.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I was surprised. I don't want to underrate you, because you're professionally in your work all the while. But it was a surprise when I realized that I didn't remember that you are a lawyer. Well, thank you very much for being here, Miss Kimberly Whitaker. And we should have you here within the next 6 months or so after you're qualified.
All right.
Thank you very much. Let's go for the 11 a.m. headline news. Straight up. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. We're into the third hour of the program. And as I told you earlier, we're fortunate to have Mr. Bruce Goldyn, the former Prime Minister Bruce Goldyn here after 11, and especially at a topical time like that, because of the reason that I explained yesterday morning in my preamble about what we have learned, and I did not at the time, what we have learned was his approach and how far he was willing to go in addressing the needs of a certain section of the Jamaican people with respect to the land, that pinnacle. And he's here, but I just want to read these text messages first, because I don't know if we might not get a chance to do them before the end of the program. And we might be able to entertain some calls from you by him. First text message. Jerry, despite what you are saying, I think the PNP and Rastas, brackets, are part of the Black Power movement, defines the Jamaica we have now. In other words, you believe that the PNP and Rasta define the Jamaica we have now. Well, partly yes, but maybe not as much as what you think. Next one. Jerry, I vote JLP, but I deeply believe Mrs. Simpson Miller cares for the poor. But some grey back old man in there don't want her to do the right thing. You remember what one of them said to give people rights? I don't remember the rest of it. No, I think you're talking about David Core. And David Core was not only long before Mrs. Simpson Miller, even though he has served on some boards or something while she has been Prime Minister. I don't think, just like you don't remember exactly what him say, I think you have to straighten out that. Next one. There are behind-the-scenes ripples in sections of the PNP regarding National Housing Trust. Some want Portia out. I heard that there are some ripples there. I don't know about some of them wanting Portia out. Next one. Hi, Jerry. See how quickly the mayor of Kingston whitewashing Mr. Easton Douglas by naming road after him? Why not call him Many? Next one. Jerry, tell me, say, me can get my Chinese passport to come back to Jamaica because of them run things. Oh, yeah? You gave up your passport? Yeah, this text coming from America. Probably this person has taken up American citizenship. Next one. Good morning, Bonga Jerry. So you juggle big tune. You must put DJ Q to shame. Jerry, shell down the wicked and keep up excellency. The one coming from foreign, but you know this is mostly old-time music I play. Sometimes I know that I should be playing more of the young people music, but it's best to deal with what you know best. Next one, Jerry. How so much thieving taking place in the ministry, coming from Apache Lachi. Next one. Mr. Jerry, saw Lady P on TV last night. Does she expect the people of Jamaica to believe that crap of not knowing what she was done with the National Housing Trust money? Yeah, it is not credible. Next, and I think that's why I should get irritable when things are pushed, you know. Because there it is, Mr. Atkinson is behind her coaching her. Nothing wrong with the ministers giving you points. I go ahead and say this now, even though, not because Mr. Goldyn is here. And quite a few people been texting in and calling on the phone saying, boy, Jerry look like he's a Bruce sites and all that. But Mr. Goldyn supposed to know, Bruce Goldyn supposed to know that I criticize him for things that I disagree with. As well as give him credit for things that I've heard him do. Apart from the fact that rejecting the so-called most honorable title. Many other things like the fact that him is the first prominent politician. Others have done it, you know. Like me and my brother, you small. But not in the way, the forthright way that I heard Bruce Goldyn say. I was associated with gunmen. And I explained many other things and declared and committed himself to let us pull up these things. And I give him credit for them things. And I criticize him for other things. But I don't remember why I went on to that. Let me leave that alone. Next one. Morning, Jerry. The DJ, your second call I was talking about is Barry Gordon. When he was on JBC, he played that song for Prime Minister Siaga and lost his job instantly. It coming back to me now, yeah. Next one. Jerry, I'm okay with the National Housing Trust purchasing and developing of an attraction with the North Side. I am Moya from Jamaica National. Are you alright with paying $20 million an acre for it? I wanted to text back and tell me, are you alright with paying $20 million an acre for it? And are you alright with the fact that this purchase was made in March last year and the Prime Minister only became aware of it on the 30th of October, 14 days ago? You're alright with that? That the purchase took place from March last year and she just aware of it at the end of October? Are you alright with that? Next one. Greeting to Clive Hobson, who tune in every day, coming from his daughter Kimberly. Okay, Clive Hobson. Not only daughter Kimberly, but straight up greet you. Wow, we've gone 11 minutes already. You know, I'm going to leave the rest of these. There are so many. Yeah, greetings, Mr. Goldyn. Greetings, Bruce. How are you doing?
How are you?
As I said to you in the car park this morning, I spent most of my preamble yesterday morning comparing your approach with the Pinnacle situation with this approach to Outer Many one. And there are many comparisons. Both of them are supposed to be heritage site. One of them is a genuine heritage site. And there's nothing wrong with reenacting or constructing a heritage site, constructing a historical portrayal from scratch, like out of many. But it's not actually a heritage site as such. Pinnacle is an actual heritage site, and Pinnacle was a housing attempt by Jamaicans similar to the Maroon movement. And Pinnacle was in a state of modern development, and some people came to you. We didn't know these things, you know. That some people came to you and tried to rescue it. I should have known because some of my Rastafari brethren was involved. I heard about it, but I never knew that you went so far.
Well, let me give credit to my son Stephen, because Stephen was one of those who, perhaps more than anybody else, who was pushing me in that direction. Let's put it in some perspective, Jerry.
Yeah.
Rastafari is part of Jamaica's history. It is part of Jamaica, part of who we are and what we are. It is not just a religion. It is, some say it is a way of life. It's a culture. And it has been internationalized. You find Rastafari on every continent in the world, whether North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia. You know, interestingly, New Zealand, about 6 or 7 years ago, elected a Rasta as a member of parliament. He subsequently lost his seat, but in New Zealand.
Right.
And I don't know that we have a whole heap of black people in New Zealand.
Yeah,
right?
but I have known for 30 years that the Maoris in New Zealand very much involved.
And remember Bob Marley went there and spent a good amount of time.
Yeah.
So it's an important part of our heritage. And I was persuaded that Pinnacle, because of Pinnacle's significance in the formation of Rasta movement, that it was something that should be preserved as part of Jamaica's heritage. So we set out to do 3 things. Firstly, is to identify the particular section, because remember, you know, this has changed hands several times since.
Yeah.
And was now part of a housing development area. And it had been surveyed and cut up into lots and so on. So we spent some time trying to identify the exact location where the original Leonard Howell community was settled. And based on the information we had, that came out to be 5 lots. Remember, the lots are recent nomenclatures.
Yeah.
But the 5 lots that we identified were, based on the information, all information we could gather, that was predominantly where the original community was. I can't remember the acreage, the total acreage in terms of the 5 lots. But we're doing 3 things. One is to designate those 5 lots as national heritage sites. And we started the process. You have to go through a thing where you have to gazette it and you have to allow for people to comment and to object, and if they object there has to be hearings and so on. And I'm going to come back to that. What we had proposed to do after that is to acquire those 5 lots. And I actually started discussions with the persons who now have legal ownership of it. And I'll tell you quite frankly that if we could negotiate the purchase, we would have done it that way. If we couldn't negotiate the purchase, I was going to give instructions for it to be compulsorily acquired, which is you take it over, and if you can't agree on the amount of money you should pay, then the matter is referred to the courts for the courts to assess that. And then thirdly, in consultation with the leadership of the Rastafari movement, and of course that leadership is not monolithic, it's very diverse, but in consultation with the leadership of the Rastafarian movement, to determine what would be the appropriate monument structure, what facilities, how is it to be just a dead museum kind of thing, or is it to be a live place where that has activity and so on? What would be the best thing to commemorate and to recognize and to immortalize the initial, the very beginnings of the Rastafarian movement? Now we ran into some problems. When we gazetted those 5 lots, that those were being declared National Heritage Site, there was objection from the Millennium Council.
Rastafari Millennium Council.
Yeah, I think there was some misunderstanding.
Why did they object?
I am not sure.
When I
gather it had more to do with some internal conflicts or rivalry
with other groups
within the Rastafarian movement. So that's time in it. And then I left office, and I'm not quite sure what has happened afterwards. But I do believe that it is important for us to, and we must do it, before. Next thing now we hear that those lots have been sold and people are building $30 million houses on them. I believe it's important for us to move fast and to secure those lots, and then to determine what would be the best way to place in our heritage and in a visible, imposing way the beginnings of the Rastafarian movement. And quite frankly, it has so much potential in terms of not just strengthening our own cultural awareness of ourselves, but in terms of people from all parts of the world, who understand what Rasta is and who have identified themselves with it. This is somewhere that many of them would want to come and to view and to see and to really feel what the beginnings were like.
Now, we have a few questions quickly before I allow you to flow again. Now, the compulsory acquisition of it. Why? I tell you, not because you're here, you were willing to think that far, and the government would undertake that. Do you think by any stretch of your imagination that the compulsory acquisition of it, which would be facilitated by some judicial ruling, do you think it could be anywhere near $20 million an acre?
No. If they were selling it now for the purpose for which they want to put it, which is, to use it for housing development and for, I've been there,
Yes,
the place I used to shoot birds in that region, so I know the place. But at $20 million, no, you couldn't.
Even now, even now to build $30 million houses, people wouldn't be buying a house of a quarter acre for $5 million.
If you're talking about $20 million an acre land, you must be talking about Jacksonville or Norbrook or one of those places.
And the other thing now, I was so pleasantly surprised when I heard Babs Green start to come out and tell us about this thing, because I know Stephen Goldyn, your son, deeply involved in UNIA and Rastafari. I don't know if it's Rastafari or dreadlocks, but deeply involved in the African movement. And not only that, I became interested in most of these things here from an early age, 6, 7 years old, because going through my old papers and trunks as children, we ran into shares of the Black Star line and them thing there, and gradually got to know that our grandfather was a Garveyite, my father. And then later got to know that my mother's father, a school teacher and school inspector, was also a Garveyite.
Well, I know what your predilection has been for years from school days.
Yes,
so
yes.
I know
that reminds me of something else. Now, Mr. Howell's wife was a Bent, and I know that your mother is a Bent. And because of the same reasons of my father and my grandfather making me aware of certain things from my youth, I proudly hold on to the Black nationalist movement. And I don't think you have to have no apology about having an interest and a wide understanding of the Jamaican people because your own mother is related to Howell's wife. You don't have to apologize about that.
Well, I'm not sure of the relationship, although...
Don't they are from St. Elizabeth?
Yeah, man, and come from... not districts not far apart, so there may be a relationship, but I've never really been able to establish it and trace it. But the compulsory acquisition is a relatively simple thing, but it's something you use as a last resort. Because the law requires, before I can compulsorily take away your land, I must first of all seek to buy it.
Yes.
So I must negotiate.
And I don't think the developers will refuse to sell.
I must make an offer. You will respond. I may say, well, what you're asking is too high. I make you another offer. If we can get nowhere, we can reach agreement with the negotiation, then that is when you invoke the provisions of the law, which means that you take possession. The title is then transferred into the name of the government. And then if you still can't settle a price, then the court now steps in and the court will determine. And in those instances where the court steps in, the person that you took away the land from normally gets a better deal, because the court not only gives you money for what the land really value, but also gives you an extra amount for a thing they call dispossession. Because, you know, especially if you said you didn't want to sell the land.
Yeah.
So that was the route we were going to go, because in the national interest, in the interest of, you know, we Jamaicans, we need to wheel and come again in terms of our own appreciation for our heritage. I'm ashamed when I go abroad, for example, and I see the way the founding fathers of America, if you go to the place where they were born, it is maintained, preserved, it is part of their national treasure. The government does that. I am ashamed, for example, at what is happening with Marcus Garvey's birthplace. Now, in 2011, it was just before I left office. It was after I announced that I was going to step down. And just before, it was in October, we went and we broke ground for it. We had already secured the funding, $22 million it was going to cost. We secured that funding from Chase Fund.
To buy the place.
To do the refurbishing. The ownership of the thing was not in dispute, but there were some family members that we had difficulty in locating. So we were going to go through the process of trying to make sure that we contact all the people who claim some entitlement. But if that proved difficult, we were going to go the compulsory acquisition route again. And whoever now claims to have been a descendant of Garvey would then be settled either by negotiation with us or through the courts. And we fixed up the place. It was going to cost $22 million. It would have been done under the supervision of the Jamaican National Heritage Trust. And the intention was to try and recreate it to look exactly as it was when Garvey was born there. And then to make it a national treasure for Jamaicans and visitors to go and visit. And I am distressed that I think I saw something in the papers fairly recently to suggest that the place is falling. It was an article from Lansneater, I believe, in one of the papers, to say that all the boredom dropping out of the house and all that kind of thing. I mean, and yet we claim how we idolize Marcus Garvey, you know.
Now, in the whole discussion that came up last year and earlier this year, I heard Babsy Grange saying that in addition to the things that you have said, it was even being thought about how to secure even up to 100 or more acres out of those hundreds of acres of Pinnacle land. And I don't know if it's because she's an MP in St. Catherine in that environment, why she was so au fait with it or what.
I don't know. That may have happened. Babsy was there, was part of the effort that was involved in initial declaration. Her thinking may have gone even beyond what the initial thinking was. I had not contemplated at that time recreating the Pinnacle commune. I mean, that was not my thinking. My thinking was to identify the lands that were occupied. Because Louis Moiston, I think some couple of years ago, gave a good history of the land. The fact that Leonard Howell had paid down on it, the fact that he apparently couldn't finish the payment and lost possession of it and so on. We wanted to find out where did they have that community. You know, they had a bakery. They had various other services that were provided.
Manufacturing.
And my own thinking was, can we replicate that? If it sprawled over 50 acres, we don't necessarily have to do it over 50 acres. It could be a representation of that over 5 or 10 acres. But it would enable us to see, where did this thing called Rasta begin? What was the flavor of it? What were the principles on which it was established? Because if you look at what Howell was trying to do at Pinnacle, those are foundation rocks on which nations can be built. You know, so that was the intention.
And this would be so authentic as the real site, the real place, as against spending money on an outer many site which might have a whole great house on it, but is a kind of contrived museum.
Well, the two are not really comparable, and I'll tell you why. Two situations really cannot be compared. In the case of Outer Many, that is a place where Lenny Littlewhite, with his creative genius, and he does have creative genius, put together a production that took you on a journey from the Arawak Indians, the Tainos, right up to where we are now. I have seen it. It is something that can be improved upon, but it's a good concept. But there was nothing significant about this land at Orange Grove. There's nothing historical about it. So in other words, what Lenny was doing there could be lifted up from there and taken 5 miles away or 50 miles away, and it would still have that same significance.
In other words, Pinnacle can be compared with a compound town.
Right.
But Outer Many can be compared with a compound town.
It can be. Because history lies in Pinnacle. There's no history in Orange Grove.
And even before
Orange Valley, whatever it's called.
Even before you told me, and more so after you are telling me this now, Pinnacle was being and is being developed as a housing development, whether it is high income, middle income or not. And therefore, for different interests in the Rastafari community and in the Howell community, to be availed of some small lots and to factually be able to build back residence there, where some of them probably would be even working nearby in the replicated bakery. The bakery just wouldn't be baking bread as a little demonstration, because I know once that baker start to bake bread, people would be buying it out the road. Right. I am sure you are old enough.
A kind of a Devon House kind of.
Yeah, exactly so. Because I'm sure you are old enough to remember Rainbow Healing Temple as one of the biggest bakers in Jamaica. By some Ethiopianist, Father Goldyn, right on Spanish Town Road there. And the white paper bags that had in the bread bags, had on a rainbow on them. And this was a going thing. This was one part of the many industries that existed amongst the Garveyites and the Rasta people of the 50s and 60s. In your memory. By the way, I have to remind people that after I left JC, His Majesty visited JC, and you were the head boy, and you were the person who received him. It wasn't even the headmaster. It was you who gave the welcome speech to him. When he reached
I didn't give the welcome speech.
You gave a speech to him.
I was introduced to him.
But you gave a little speech.
And shook his hand.
I think you gave a little speech. Because, anyway, those pictures were most prominent.
I still have the photo.
Now, as I say, the kind of thing that you might have done with the compulsory possession would certainly be able to facilitate some housing, build your own house or whatever. And
as I said, that is something. I didn't want to sit down in an air-conditioned office at Jamaica House and predetermine that, because I don't have all the cultural connections. I have to read history. There are people who have researched that history long before me. There are people who rightfully claim identification with it, with the Rastafari movement. So I wanted us to sit down now and say, now, what do? We have got the thing now, we want to preserve it. This is what we want to do. We want to memorialize Leonard Howell and what he started. What's the best way to go about it?
All right, thanks. We're going good so far. Let's go for a break. Straight up. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. I have as our special guest here today, Mr. Bruce Goldyn, former Prime Minister, and who, not only former Prime Minister, former Minister of Housing. I think probably the youngest ever one. And therefore very familiar with housing needs, National Housing Trust and them kind of thing. But it's almost ironic. You were sympathetic and au fait with the whole concept of the heritage value of Pinnacle, and also with the mechanics of compulsory acquisition, having been a housing minister and so on. And this is not at all to disparage the Prime Minister. It's another thing I've said. That's why some people might have claimed I'm sympathetic towards you. Always talk, say, you familiarize yourself with your subject so that you don't have to be really speaking from notes or speaking from written speeches too much. And on the other hand, now the Prime Minister was compromised, not in a bad way, was compromised by the fact that one of our closest ministers and the minister responsible for culture and heritage, Lisa Hanna, had a connection with the developers. The Prime Minister even had to say to some of the Rastafari representatives that she don't want to get involved personally because she has connections with both through minister and so on, and she don't want to get too involved in the Pinnacle thing personally. But the fact is that this is a no. Have you been consulted between last year and this year when the whole Rastafari movement and the Pinnacle people and thing in the thing with the government and Mr. Lake and all that? Have you been consulted with your experience?
No, and in the normal course of things, I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't be consulted.
No, but to work out solutions.
I'm retired,
I know, but to work. No, but
what I think needs to be done, Jerry, is firstly, we need to determine what part of Pinnacle has this historical significance. And I say that because from some questions that Babsy Grange asked in Parliament earlier this year, I was learning that instead of the Gazette notice that we had put out to declare 5 lots as national heritage sites, they withdrew that, they rescinded those, and they now put out a notice to declare 1 lot, lot 199.
Yeah.
Right? No, I'm not sure.
You mean the subsequent government?
Yes. Yeah, this was done, I think, must be sometime last year.
Yeah.
So, that is something that needs to be addressed. What is it in Pinnacle that we consider to be of historical relevance to Rastafari movement? It can't be the whole Pinnacle, because some sections of Pinnacle have people living there now with houses and so on.
Yeah. But there are burial sites, and there are baker sites and certain other industrial sites.
Secondly, the Rastafari movement need to come together so that we can move forward in unison, because this is what messed it up the first time we tried. Then thirdly, acquisition, and that don't have to take long, I mean, government compulsory acquires land regularly.
Yeah.
You're building a highway.
Yeah.
And there's a piece of land there that you need for the highway.
Yeah. But right now,
and either the owner can't be found, or the owner refused to sell. You can't make that hole up the highway. You have to proceed. And you're not expropriating land, because you have to pay them for it.
Yeah.
And if they can't agree on how much you should pay, then the court steps in and the court decides that. So, acquisition of the land. And then finally, through a process of consultation, to determine what do we put there. Do we put a replica? Do we have enough historical knowledge to be able to get an architect, for example, to lay out on paper what Pinnacle used to look like?
Yeah.
Is that what we want to do, or we just want one big statue of Leonard Howell? My own view, quite frankly, let's try and recreate that village, and let's put it to work so that you bake bread.
Yeah.
You had straw work operations going there. Let's get that going as well, so that when you drive past Devon House in the evenings and you see a crowd of people over there, that's what I'd like to see up there. Activity.
Yeah.
Not a dead museum that you drive past and a few people go in to see and take notes and take pictures, but somewhere where you can go and actually feel what it was like to be part of that kind of effort that Leonard Howell had going in 1940.
But the present developers certainly would not be demanding $20 million an acre. So therefore, I believe the government could have acquired...
I can't say yes or no to that,
Even the National Housing Trust.
I can't say
the National Housing Trust itself could have and still can acquire many acres of land up there and make it available for people who have a particular interest in the heritage site, which would be mostly Garveyites, Howellites, Rastafari, who would pay market price for them house spot and take advantage of the situation and become part of the economy there.
And who are currently NHG contributors.
Yes. I'm sure that could be done.
It's something that the NHG could look at.
Yes. And I understand that not only the past public defender, Mr. Earl Whitaker, but the previous one, Howard Hamilton, had been taking an interest in this whole thing and trying to hold the thing together, that the government and the people of Jamaica could have a common cause. I understand. That's what I understand.
That's possible. I'm not aware, but that's quite possible.
And as you said, various elements of the Rastafari movement, there was some, and it's more personal, it is more than the institution itself. I don't think it's the whole Millennium Council. I believe some individual people were almost kind of jealous of the Howellites, because you know that the Howellites are the real original inhabitants. And some of his children are alive today and so on. There was a kind of hauling and pulling there that was not necessary, and which governments are able to pull together and make compromises.
I mean, government has the authority. It's not authority it must use in a kind of overbearing and reckless way, but the government is in a position where if there are issues to be resolved between the Howell family and the Rastafarian movement, I don't know, for example, you might know more than I do, are there descendants that we can identify, not just of Leonard Howell, but are there descendants of the people who actually were operating
Yes, there are. I know this. I know not only descendants, I know people whose birth certificate has documented on them birthplace as Pinnacle. Them birthplace, people in Tredegar Park and different places. But I'm talking about Tredegar Park and different places. Between Spanish Town Square, the historic square of Spanish Town, and the name itself, Spanish Town, San Diego de la Vega, the Jewish cemeteries, and Pinnacle. I don't know an area of Jamaica that have more concentrated history between Pinnacle, Spanish Town, the old fort where the women's prison is.
That's true.
And the whole of which area of Jamaica?
You look at the Iron Bridge.
Yeah, the Iron Bridge. And not only Babs Grange, but yourself were also an MP there. Matter of fact, your father built his political career and his teaching career.
One of the things that I'd wanted to do...
you know that back pasture? Front back pasture where your father was a headmaster one time. You know that was a key spot in the Rastafari movement in the 60s.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Back pasture?
Yeah, man. It was one of the key assembly places where them used to have the Naya being celebration every year.
I didn't know that.
Barry Shabazz could tell you.
I knew it was the first place where my father built a health center for the people.
Yeah, because I drive through them places all the while, and I know people who...
Well, I went to school at Watermount, which is just around the corner from there.
Yeah. So yourself and Portia, you have roots in St. Catherine that is not that far apart. Yeah. But, boy, there's so much. There's so much. Now, could the housing trust be encouraged, I don't want to use this word first, to pay attention to Pinnacle in the kind of way that you were doing, especially after this kind of spend that you have made?
It is something that can be commended to the Housing Trust, but more than that, the Housing Trust has to report that to a minister,
Yes.
And the minister could direct the Housing Trust, go and look at this thing and come back to me and let me know.
By the way, who is it Mr. Davis or Mr. Pickersgill who is the Housing Minister now?
No, it's the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister is the Housing Minister?
No, the Prime Minister is responsible for the Housing Trust.
Housing Trust. But what about the
Housing Minister is Minister Davis.
And I know him well aware of the heritage of Jamaica,
Well, he's certainly aware of the heritage of Peter
Tosh, me I tell you.
Yeah.
I tell you. God. If we start take phone call now, I'm not going to get in the next word. But are they there? Yeah, we're welcome to take a few phone calls. Some people have been suggesting various questions that I should ask Mr. Goldyn, but if I take up those, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know if I told you before. On the night of the 16th of October, 2002, after the election, with the closest election in the history of Jamaica, 34-26, I had my radar.
07 was closer.
Yes.
Yeah.
07?
07 was closer.
In terms of
32-28.
Yes. Yes, it was. Yes. I can come back to it because I want to facilitate the phone call. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Rastafari, give thanks.
Yes, ma'am. I want to
go on. The first to the Empress, give thanks. For the Pinnacle, I shout there from because I know I listen to the program and I want Mr. Goldyn and the wider population and listeners to know that most of the spots, like where the bakery and a lot of places where the mill, the house and a lot of places, we get in and where even Mrs. Howell up at the Great House part, all of these places that should be preserved and it needs some proper investigation because the government no interest, and even right about now, couple days from over the weekend, I return up here, we see them might be go near under the foot away, just coming up on the pinnacle, more places. So there's a lot of violation been going on and nothing is doing about it. And we give thanks for this sound that we hear up till now, but what is the government doing about it? Why the government not do something about this thing? And we have the Asian remnants too. The people that used to live here first. They're here now.
All right, caller. We have to go for a break, you see. So after the break, I'm going to ask you to just hang up and listen to Mr. Goldyn response. We have quite a few more calls. Let's go for a break. Straight up. Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Small. I have Mr. Bruce Goldyn here. The last few minutes of the interview, we're going to facilitate about 3 phone calls, but I hope I can get in one more question from him. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Small, and good morning, Mr. Goldyn. Mr. Goldyn.
Good morning.
I don't know if you is aware of the Maroon settlement. Them you aware of those two?
Yes, ma'am.
We have Upon Town, St. Elizabeth.
Yes.
We have Nannytown, Portland.
Yes.
We have Trelawney, St. James, Rural, Kojo by Kojo.
Yes, Scott.
We have Libula, St. Mary, now called Scott Hall.
Yes.
We have Quezzo Hill, St. Thomas.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking about, you see, sir, if you people would put on your table to upgrade these area and the history about these places, because Mr. Goldyn, let me tell you something, you know. JLP save money, but PMP spend money. Right? How them spend it? Them run it like a river. And I don't think we have responsibility people in the House of Parliament who consider about people. Jamaica people is not about selfish. This is the reason why we have so much carelessness going on in the country, both young and old.
All right, you have to give him a chance to respond. You hear, Miss Joyce?
Yeah, never hang up and listen to him.
Yes, ma'am.
I note the comments. There's not much that I can say.
Yeah.
I do believe that we need to look at all of those areas and communities that are more than just an ordinary part of our heritage. Of course, the question of resources. And that's something. But what you need to do is to put something on a program. It may take you 10, 15 years, but, at least you must know that each year you can say, well, this is how far you have reached and how much further you have to go. No?
Yeah. Yes, good morning. Next caller. Morning.
Hello?
Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Mr. Goldyn, morning, sir. The way you dealt with the gas issue, I think it was a Samsung, I don't remember that one, and they start saying that the bidding was not right, and you dismantle it, and I think that was the closest point to get to getting any new development in the energy sector, and you just dismantle it. And look what is going on with the NHT, and they just anchor down and holding it out. Why did you do it, sir?
Well,
and now Mr. Paul messed up the 340 megawatt, and you could have done better.
Well, there were certain.
I'm hanging up.
Okay. There were certain irregularities and questionable aspects of the process that led up to the bidding. The contractor general produced a report. I can't remember how many 100 pages it was. We couldn't just disregard that, because I would perhaps have gone to my grave with people saying that something shady went on and I did nothing at all about it. But having done that, we set up a team led by Chris Zaka to do that part of the process all over again. Not the whole thing, because by then we knew exactly what we wanted, but just the actual bidding. That perhaps could have been completed in another 6 months. So I asked the caller, don't hold me responsible for the fact that we are now 3 years into this thing and we don't seem to be any further along. Because what was to be done was simply to go back out, get the bids, make a determination, make sure that we dot the I's and cross the T's this time. And that could have been completed in 6, maximum 9 months.
All right, we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Yeah, morning.
Oh, go on.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, boy, I can't hardly hear you.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you well.
Yeah, no, now you speak up, I can hear.
Yeah.
Good morning, former Prime Minister Goldyn.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, man. Mr. Goldyn, or you believe the government, Portia Simpson government, is angry the country?
No, man. I retired from commenting on those matters. No, I leave that to you and Jerry to deal with on a daily basis.
All right, sir.
I watch, I observe.
Sir?
I watch and I observe.
Yes, so you don't...
And I will comment where I feel that the comment can be useful to the country, but I don't really want to get into the hauling and pulling.
All right.
My life is too peaceful right now.
Yeah, man, cool.
All right, thank you very much. Here's next one. Good morning, welcome. Sure.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Small.
Wagwan.
Then, good morning, Mr. Goldyn.
Morning, sir.
You know, there are two questions I want to ask Mr. Goldyn. The first thing, why is it that you had to leave this country after you had come to this country and promised so much, and then in 4 years you left the country hanging? You promised so much, you know. You know, those talk, one day say you're going to make a man smile them grave because of things they went do, and you just leave it up, sir. And the next thing, no, sir. Why is it that it is now when you are not in government, there's so many things that when you talk about, you're talking about. You wasn't talking about them when you was in government.
Like what, sir?
You're placing emphasis on early child education. You're talking about poverty alleviation. As a matter of fact, one of the things that your government did when you come to power.
I think you must be listening to the wrong Goldyn.
No, Mr. Goldyn, listen, sir. One of the first things you did when you come into power is that the Public Service Commission appointed somebody to be Solicitor General, and you rejected and fired the board. Things like I've been talking about.
Can I ask?
I'll listen to your reply.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, yes, sir.
If you have to depend on legal advice, suppose you have to go to court, suppose you have to take a decision and you need legal advice, don't you want a lawyer in whom you are confident?
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, should be.
So the question of confidence.
That means you was playing parties in politics and say looking for the best person for Jamaica.
No, it wasn't a matter of playing parties and politics. It's a matter that...
No, you wasn't looking for the best person to do the job. You were looking for somebody who suits your agenda.
No, but the Public Service Commission cannot, in any reasonable discussion, decide to appoint my lawyer, my chief lawyer, without any consultation with me. And that is to appoint as my lawyer somebody who had gone and published in the newspaper some very savage criticism of me.
Of you?
Yes.
Well,
tell me something, by the way.
I can see with that.
By the way, you never remember what the comments of Vashiani?
No, I don't remember.
You know, I know.
But I can see with that. Never tell me.
Anyway, I am not Mr. Goldyn lawyer.
But you know what is quite significant, sir?
Yes, sir.
When Mrs. Simple Miller won in 2011, 2011, the entire Public Service Commission resigned, because they said, since we were appointed by the previous government and you have now come in, we believe that you should have a free hand to recommend to the Governor General who should be the members of the Public Service Commission. Why was the one that was there before? Why didn't they behave like that?
Sir, because the way you had booted them, sir,
no, but they were appointed before I came in,
Yes,
when I came in, they not only decided that they were not going anywhere and they're not going to offer any resignation, but then they want to appoint as my lawyer somebody who is cussing me in the newspaper.
Yes. Anyway, you hear me, sir? I'm gone. Well, one of the strongest PNP no. Strongest PNP people. Trillon him come from, and the other day, last week, he condemned the action of the National House. It's the first time I hear him.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, man, him condemn, but by yesterday, him kind of repair. By the way, talking about repair, the approach that you were willing to make at Pinnacle, I think it takes some courage, because Bustamante, who is the founder of your party, was very aggressive against Howell and the whole development up there. So it come like you trying to correct the abuses of Carl Garden.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that both PNP and JLP used to persecute Rasta.
Well,
I mean, that's a fact of our history.
Yes.
We didn't understand it. We saw Rasta as a threat.
Yeah.
We thought that they were going to be subversives and so on. Remember when police used to hold them, carry them to lock up, and cut off the hearing?
Yes, man. They hold me 68, and the superintendent Cox, him stripping naked in front of the other people
all of that
in
is
arbitrary.
All of that is part of our history.
And him say I'm going to trim me upon the spot there, and him send for things that I'm out trimming. I wouldn't like to tell you some of the things that I'm doing.
But I mean, but that was long time. We now understand how wrong that approach was, no?
Yeah, tell you. I just want to get in this. On the night of the 16th of October 2002, the election was very close, and I tell you, there was a whole day rain all over Jamaica. You had just entered Labour Party 2 weeks before, and Mr. Siaga not only announced your return, but announced your return as equal leader of the campaign with him, and he handed over Western Jamaica campaign to you, and he took Eastern Jamaica. And I believe it's only the whole day rain over Jamaica that saved the PNP. You remember how close it was? I think it was 3,000 votes.
No, man, you're mixing up.
No, not
you're
3,000.
mixing up the two.
No.
3,000 was 2000.
But anyway, it was close. It was 26, 34.
Yeah.
And that night, the results was announced on my program, Hot Talk, in the night. And I called DK Duncan, before I opened up the phone line to the public, I called DK Duncan and I said to him, say, the JLP never win another election. I cannot see Siaga or serving out 5 years of leader of the opposition. I believe he's going to resign before the time. And who better to take the West Kingston seat than Bruce Goldyn, because Bruce Goldyn has committed, say, he wants to dismantle garrison politics. I say, I believe Siaga going to leave. I believe West Kingston is the best seat for Bruce Goldyn go. And dismantle garrison politics. And I name out some other things to him. And I said to DK, let us discuss it. DK said, yes, it is possible, but not feasible. And we had a 45-minute discussion. I have the tapes, you know. One day I'm going to get the permission to play it, because it will be the tapes of another radio station on this program here.
I see.
And I tell you, by 2005 January.
You're part of the plan.
No, but I saw it wasn't hard to read, man. It wasn't hard to read.
Jerry, I'm going to leave you. You have to wrap up shortly anyhow.
Well, thank you very much for having been here. And I also tell people that your stint as a radio host, you had me as a guest one day. And your stint as a radio host is one of the things, one of the vehicles that you used to get right back center stage in Jamaica. I think Purnell did it before, but not as successful as you.
Well, what can I tell you? Thanks a lot. All the best to you.
All right, I hope we can invite you again. Another topic. Straight up. That's it for today.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Good afternoon. It's time for the midday news here on News Talk 93 FM. I'm Errol Lee. Coming up in this newscast, Youth Ministry's transport manager charged with fraud. Children's advocate continues pressing for raising Jamaica's age of consent. Blood bank reports shortage due to recent chikungunya outbreak. And Duhaney Park residents protesting flow of sewage in their community.